I know I can depend on my barber to give me the perfect haircut every time. I respect his skill and commitment to his job. He is proudly serving Jamaica with his talent. Respect is also due to my bus conductor. He ensures that I am not left behind and I get on board safely. He is serving Jamaica steadfastly and honestly. It's good to see the police protecting and reassuring with courtesy. She is proudly honoring her pledge to work dutifully in the service of her fellow citizens. My journey through life is unfolding every day. I rely on a lot of people to help me to progress along the way. My family, my friends, and my fellow Jamaicans. With their support, I have a future in which great things are possible. I pledge my heart forever to serve Jamaica, our shining homeland, with pride.
Talk Up Yout is powered by National Baking Company in association with CranWata, a Stanley and Empress Production, giving the youth a voice.
And so we come to know these youths and show these youths. Talk up yourself, the youths to know them roots. Nurture them, protect and love and hear these youths. Music make them know I love we show these youths.
Mr. Save the youth, I kill the youth, I talk up youth, I build the youth, I trick and fool and pill the youth, I talk up youth, I build the youth, empower and then skill the youth, I talk up youth, I build the youth, talk up youth in Jamaica, we are
kill the youths there.
Talk up youth in Jamaica.
Where do you go? To come my way.
Hi, my name is Jason. I'm a former psychology student at the University of the West Indies and a minor in reggae studies. I am a poet and I love to do poetry. I love to express myself in different ways. What I want to be in life is an international poet known for my body of work, expressing myself, and this is my story. I grew up in Portmore, Jamaica. My childhood was fun enough. I wasn't really a very school-oriented person. I used to want to play, used to want to be on the computer. My parents used to always say I'm not fulfilling my potential. But growing up in Portmore, Jamaica, you learn a few things. Like you're just being in and around in the streets. You know that certain things are happening in society. Not saying that I was on the streets, because that's not the story that I'm portraying. I was raised very well, but just being aware of what was happening in society was a very good part of being in Portmore, because you'd hear things, you'd know things, not necessarily see things, but you'd be aware of them. Being in and around school, I always had this idea that school wasn't for me. I didn't really like school. Separate and apart from that, there were issues at hand that were blatant to me even at that young age. Just being at Ulmas for 7 years of your life, you really and truly pick up some of the ills of the schooling system and the education system in Jamaica. High school was fun. I really didn't participate in high school in terms of sports, academics. I was just a regular child. The highlights of high school was hanging out with friends. As I said previously, school was always secondary in nature to me. In about third form is when I really realized my passion for poetry. So at that time, I mean, the poems were just corny, like "You Girl, You're the Pearl," and those sort of corny stuff, "You're My World," those sort of corny rhymes. But eventually it started to grow deeper and deeper in terms of the fact that what I started feeling and what I started expressing started coming through my poetry. So it was much deeper than writing a poem for a girl or just writing a poem that rhymes. What I started feeling became apparent. You know, I was writing. I started writing about some of the ills in society. I started writing about words that described my poetry. So it was a poetry about my poetry. And that's how I was feeling at the time. So at that age, I was about 15 doing CXC. I had a lot of anger in me. I had a lot of anger at the school system. I just had a lot of anger at the world. So I started expressing it in different ways, not having any role models in society. Of course, I had my father. I grew up with a father. I grew up with uncles, but just in the general society, there were no real role models on TV per se. Fast forwarding to my time at UWI, it even became more apparent. So these notions that I had from I was 10, or these notions that I had from high school started maturing into actual ideas, into actual problems, into actual ways I can articulate what I see in society, not only in poetry, but also in writing, in academic writing, because some of the things we studied were about culture, were about how dancehall affects youths, were about some of these issues. So going into it now, I started to grow my hair. Everybody thought it was a rebellious stage, but no, I just really wanted locks. Now I'm in a stage where I have a head of locks and I'm trying to find a job. And the issue with that is in Jamaica, there's still a discrimination against locks. Plain and simple, there's a discrimination against certain ways people look, certain aspects of the way you look that is still Eurocentric in values. What is the problem is people use your locks, people use these looks in defining who you are, which is not who I am. So fast forward to an internship interview, internship testing program, sent my resume with my picture on it, got called, went in, did an IQ test. IQ test was good, by their standards at least. Got called for a second interview. Interview went good. Same day as the interview, 4 o'clock, I got a call back saying, I'm sorry, you didn't get the job. That was it. And I found it strange that the same day you'd call me back. So my friend, she works at the company, and she went to him and said, by any chance, would you tell me why he didn't get the job? To my surprise and to her surprise, his answer was, the owner of this company is a very conservative owner. Someone with locks is too liberal in his company, and it would go against company standards to showcase somebody with locks. And to me, it wasn't a surprise that I didn't get accepted because of my locks. What was surprising to me is the way that people still view the locks. So it brings me back now to my point where unemployment is a real issue in Jamaica, and even furthermore unemployment for people like me. And it sounds a way that I have to say people like me because there's nothing wrong with me, I just have hair on my head. And to me, that's a part of the story that I want to share. That's one of the ills in society that I feel right now, because it's personally affecting me as a person. But I made a life choice, and I think I am proud of that life choice, and I won't change, because I don't feel like I should cut my locks for a company that doesn't value me more than my hair.
Where do you go? Yeah. Where do you go? Don't you need my love, baby? Why can't you come on and let us play? When are you going to come my way?
We have to build the youths there.
Up Yout in Jamaica.
There is no other bun like this one. The flavor is so good. Who say bun can't sweet? Oops, mind you bite your finger.
National spiced buns, baked with national pride.
My wow moment.
My wow moment.
My wow moment.
CranWata with wow.
me get 16 at maths and me never expect so much. That's my wow.
CranWata with wow. When school over, I'ma get for me yard. That's my wow.
Water with wow.
From me get my back food, that's my wow. CranWata with wow.
Water with wow.
We have to build the youth there.
Up Yout in Jamaica.
Yo, I know the believe what happened to me the other day. Like, me I walk in a halfway tree, go from there, daily business, have earphones in my ear, I bounce, you know? I know when you feel like somebody just watch you, like just watch you. So I start look around come here and say, I don't want to get robbed today, no. Like, I don't want to get robbed today. So I start look around at me and say, somebody watch me. Somebody right at the stall them. With the U taxi them there. I'm see one lady stand up. Some take out my earphones and say, what happened? Why I look for myself? So I say, I have to watch myself because you have locs and I don't know what you're going to do to me. So I say, I'm a U student, you know, I'm not doing nothing to you. So them time I'm reaching on taxi now, I say, what that lady really just said to me? Like what that lady really just said to me. That's not necessary. I just a little lax for one student, you know. But I guess people in Jamaica still preach away. Like we never come across nothing like that. We don't have lax, but like just by any standards, we never feel nothing like that.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you that I'm doing medicine and I've done an exam before where a couple of people never cut them hair as low as my haircut right now.
Yeah.
And the consultant said to us, he doesn't like how we don't look professional. And I was thinking, that's just how we naturally look, you know, to grow out your hair a little bit. It wasn't too much higher than your hair, but for some reason that wasn't professional enough.
Why? I don't know, you know, but them standards they need to change. Like, but it's a slavery thing if you meds it, you know. Because for them like attitudes that come from slavery and colonialism way. I mean, Europeans cut them hair and them little thing there. But if you all meds in a school, or we have to keep our hair low and certain little rules what them have. Like a Rasta you see in my school and them used to give him pests and I talk about that was in religion. Or all them little things that were sun hot, you know. And you see man in a road in a them shirt, tie and jacket and you know. So them drench, you know, because sun hot. All them little standards they need to change. It come from colonialism where them used to tell you how to dress, what them want to see you dress in. And them thing there, it's just a Eurocentric value what I don't really like in Jamaica.
So well, yeah, I moved 2 years ago, and like it's a world problem, you know, because I have friends with their hair high, but they're always accused of being the person that always talking in class, that always not paying attention, always the slowest person in class. But it's not always true. I'm mostly only the black guy in the class. They look at me different because I kind of dress different, and my father entrenched in me that I have to dress different to be perceived as different.
Right.
So it's kind of straying away from I want to wear what I want to be as a person.
Right.
Because it's saying that I have to conform to their ideals to be considered as a prospect or someone who wants to do good for society.
Like you want in your Gucci flip-flops and them thing they don't. Just cruise through school and look on 2 grand and be like, but nope, can't do it. Can't do it because them are pretty different. Like wear a hoodie and that's it. So it's the same thing that happen all over, as you say. Because based off the West Indian perspective, we just ripped away from everything we know. You know them way there. It's a mental thing, it's a spiritual thing. But we have to go change it. Like, me want to say a change. So we have to go start with our generation for say, yo, we have to go bring about a change, you know them way there? And start speak out about it and think. Feel like we can start talk about it. You know them way they like just all social media. You can use social media and just say, yo, man, I like them thing, you know.
Get the word out there.
You see me? Because even them little thing that people will profile you for, you know. But eventually a change will come, but we just have to start it. You know them way they.
Morning, Jason. Thanks for being here. So you have your resume?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. So I got the chance to look over some of it when you emailed it to me, but I also have some questions here that I believe will help me to get to know you more. Alright? So the first one is, use 5 adjectives to describe yourself.
Creative, focused, agile, reliable. That's about it.
Alright, that's good so far. I know you have some experience and I've heard the adjectives. So what are your key strengths though? So what are your key strengths and what can you bring to Ethiopia vegan cuisine?
My key strengths are, apart from the adjectives I just told you, in focus, punctual, creative, is that I bring a variety of things into one. Okay. So my background at school, I've done psychology and I've done a minor in reggae studies, which is a form of cultural studies.
Yes.
So I'm very aware of interpersonal relationships, not only one-on-one contact like me and you are having now, but a broad cultural, societal, interpersonal relation.
Alright, so I know that you mentioned earlier that you have a multifaceted view from psychology to cultural studies and marketing, but are you open to learning new things outside of your field?
I'm always open to learn new things because it gives you a wider variety. As I said, I'm multifaceted. I wouldn't be multifaceted if I wasn't open to learn new things.
Awesome. So my last question for you, I see that you think ahead, but do you have a 5-year plan? And if so, what are your main goals? Could be 2, 3, 4.
My 5-year plan mainly focuses on my creative aspect and finding a place where I fit in. So I don't just want to go to a company where they're like, okay, you're hired to do this, do that. I want a company where I fit in, not fit in terms of a social aspect, but fit in that I can see this company growing and also helping to grow Jamaica. Because at the end of the day, we're all Jamaicans and we should want to grow our country in any way we can. So I want to be a part of a country that helps to grow, 1, themselves, 2, me individually, and 3, Jamaica. Whether it takes 5 years, I don't know.
Okay, well Jason, I'm really happy to hear you plan for both professional and personal growth. I do wish you all the best. We will be in touch and I look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
We have to build the youths there.
Up Yout in Jamaica.
Wait. Take a bite of National Giant Hardo. Nothing comes close. How do you hardo? Bread and patty? Bread and butter?
National Giant Hardo bread, baked with national pride.
When you're ready. Ready? Oh, wait, me from the fall off. Ready now? Come get new bundles and makeup now. That's my wow. Water with wow. Just get that song full of gas. That's my wow. Water with wow. Roads one there. Water with wow. The way me when we reach a foreign. I when the plane touchdown in New York. That's my wow. Water with wow.
We have to build the youths there.
Up Yout in Jamaica.
Hi Jason.
Hi.
Welcome to Liberty Hall.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Talk Up Yout sent me your profile. I've been asked to act as your mentor for this season of Talk Up Yout. But for everybody's sake, I'd just love to hear a little bit about you, some of the issues that you're facing and perhaps some of the areas you need mentoring in.
Well, some of the issues I've been facing in Jamaica in reality is one, my issue with my hair and not being accepted fully into any organization, whether it's a schooling organization or employee as an employee. I have been discriminated against just regularly because of my locks. I've been profiled, and as a young man with locks, being profiled is not very conducive to how you want to operate as an educated individual.
I'm very sorry that happened to you. I would have thought that in this day and time in Jamaica, we would have moved beyond that. And you do see a lot more people with locks in the work environment, in the corporate work, than you used to say perhaps when I was 20 years younger or when I started growing my locks. Is there any job that you would want badly enough or that could be offered to you that you would be willing to cut your hair for the purpose of that job?
At this moment, I don't think so, in terms of I haven't seen someone offer me anything to that extent where I would cut my locks. If an offer comes up that's too great to turn down, then I would highly consider it, but I would have to do it for myself first and foremost and not for anyone.
In terms of, you know, the cultural significance of the hair, because it seems to be of some value to you. There's a reason you wear locks. I'd love to get into that so we can see just how attached or unattached we are in terms of the hairstyle.
Right. The reason I wear locks, to be honest, was influenced by Damian Marley from a young age. What it means to me now, I'm not sure if I can explain it because it's more of a feeling. Like there's this spiritual feeling that I get from my locks.
Before I grew my locks, I was very thorough, I thought, in terms of researching reasons, historical context, is where it comes from, you know. You know, I believe in the Rastafari faith, you know. I'm a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which is the church that Haile Selassie sent to Jamaica. But before getting into anything, I like to peel it back and find out why, the what, you know, where does it come from? Because it doesn't make sense to exchange one myth for another, you know. But as a young man who has his life in front of him, I would say to you that if it is not a religious devotion, if it's not a religious vow that you have taken, then you have to make those decisions that are most prudent for you at this time. Don't let your, don't be imprisoned by your own ideas of identity, right? When you have sort of experienced a more fulsome ways and culture of the world, you can settle down into those things that you know are for you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
It's like I tell my children at a young age, they say, oh, I don't eat this or I don't eat that. I mean, we're Orthodox, so we don't eat pork and certain things, but I encourage them, you see something new, try it. Don't get this attitude that you don't want it just because you don't know it. You understand what I'm saying? That is not a way to live. You have one life to live it to the fullest. Try it. Later on in life, now when you have tried a lot of things, that is when you can say, look, I don't do this or I don't do that, because I have the experience of it and I know what I like and I know what I prefer. But at a young age, don't limit yourself, don't lock yourself in. Like I said, at your age, when I decided to grow my hair, it was a no-no. Everybody was warning me, you're this, you're that, you're gonna limit yourself. And it has sort of helped me frame my life in a certain context. Where, to be honest with you, I have not pursued applying for many jobs. I've always lived a life where I've realized that I have to create jobs for myself. I have to find my own jobs, so to speak, because I was unwilling to cut my hair. I mean, if it is that this is a certain lifestyle you're not willing to compromise, then why consider entering the workforce as an employee for someone else? What about creating your own business?
To be quite honest, I really don't want to be working for anyone past 5 years. The reason now why I'm looking for even a job is to pursue what I want to in terms of pushing my poetry brand and also pushing my art collective that I've been trying to start up. So it's all about gaining capital.
Remember, there's still a lot for you to learn in life, there's still a lot for you to accomplish. And at the same time, don't worry, because there are people like me out there who are still fighting the system for them to stop suppressing our African identity, right? But I'm not telling you that you must spend your life being a freedom fighter and never getting a job and never being able to pay your rent or take care of your family. You gotta make those sacrifices that you feel are best for you. You know what I mean? Evaluate each opportunity as it comes and see what it's worth to you. And be willing to go the extra mile to accomplish what you can. Alright? It's good to meet you, Jason.
Nice to meet you as well.
I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Call on me anytime. I take seriously my obligation as a Talk Up Yout mentor.
Thank you very much. I'd say to an employee that discriminates against locs and color is that in Jamaica, our motto is literally out of many one people, and that encompasses all walks of life. You're going to have people who make life decisions to have locs, so stop judging people based off their looks, because my locs is not me. My locs is a part of me, but it doesn't define who I am.
Persecution, humiliation, etched on faces screaming louder than a shout. Violation, fear and desperation, these are things a human being should live without.
Talk Up Yout is powered by National Baking Company in association with CranWata, a Stanley and Empress Production, giving the youth a voice.